There's just a little over 2 weeks left of 2025. Have you already began to reflect on what this year has meant for you? How was your last 12 months? And also, what do you want for 2026? This is just around the time that we start to plan on New Year's resolutions or even attend vision board parties. And whatever you plan to walk into for the new year, I want you to be able to do that with confidence. But first, we have to reflect back on our actions from this year to truly understand what has worked for us and then what hasn't. But before we get into that, what I want to explain to you is exactly what the year 2025 was supposed to mean. You see, many people don't pay attention to the numbers of the year, but it's actually really important. Let's be honest, math doesn't lie. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, just like gravity. And the fact of the matter is that each year has a significant meaning to your life. So let's talk about 2025. In numerology, we reduce the numbers down by adding them together. So for 2025, we have 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, right? So 2 plus 0 is 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 5 equals 9. Now, 9 is a really important number when it comes to numerology. Why is that? Well, it's because 9 belongs to the spiritual plane. 9 actually stands alone outside of the rest of the numbers 1 through 10. 1 through 8 is looked at as what's called building blocks and exist on the material plane. That's like our conscious mind, where we get to see, smell, hear, taste, and touch and have this full experience in this 3D world. But not number 9. Number 9 exists in a spiritual plane, which would actually be the 5D world. That's how we experience our inner authority, our spiritual needs and spiritual gains, okay? Spiritual needs and spiritual gains. So if this year was the year of the number 9, that means spiritually we would have began to experience completion, closure, and then letting go. Because after number 9 is what? 10. And 10 closes the chapter. 10 closes the door so that we can begin the next chapter. Now, right before we get to 10, we have to go through the number 9. And let me let you know right now, number 9 is not an easy chapter to go through. And some of you may have experienced this already. If you had a hard year, this is why. Maybe you've experienced some endings. Maybe in relationships with regards to friends, families, exes, jobs, careers, and maybe even your relationships to objects like money. This is a period of change and transformation. And yes, for some of those who are familiar with numerology, and by all means, if you study numerology down, you know way more than me. This is just the basics and the fundamentals of what I learned. If you know more about the number 9, go ahead and drop it down in the comment box below. This is a space for learning and community. So, transformation and change really takes place in what's known as the number 5. And while that still is true, number 9 does usher us into the completion of a chapter, into the closure of a chapter. And so this year really was asking us to let go of some of our major attachments that's not going to serve us any longer, because spiritually we're elevating and we're stepping into a new version of ourselves. And this is really important if we're thinking about 2026, because if we're deciding on what to take into 2026, we need to be clear of what we let go of in 2025. So this is going to be a pivotal time to finish up anything that is not done, any conversations you might have had, any debts that you need to get ahead of, any jobs that you've been deciding on staying or going. Chances are is that your spirit's telling you it's time to leave. Many of us are going through this experience. You're not alone. This is literally designed by the number 9. Now, why the number 9 also stands alone and outside of the cycle of other numbers? 9 is the only number to which a number can be multiplied, and that number reduces to 9. And to demonstrate this to you, I have my handy dandy additional whiteboard here. 9 times 5 equals 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 times 6 equals 54. Same thing. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 9 times 7 equals 63. Y'all better not judge me if I get this math wrong. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 times 8 equals 72, right? Yeah. 7 plus 2 equals 9. It doesn't matter what number you use here, by the way. Anything times 9 reduces back to itself, number 9. You can try it even in the thousands and the millions. If you times it by 9, that number will reduce itself back down to 9. Now, what else does the number 9 mean? Why do we need to go through these struggles, these challenges during the 9 years to get to completion, closure, and letting go? Well, I already mentioned one of them. The number 9 ushers us into a higher spiritual nature. So if you are one who is intentional about seeking awareness, enlightenment, and spiritual growth, well, it's the number 9 that helps us to elevate in these areas. The number 9 also ushers in unity consciousness. So once again, you're not the only one that experienced hardship this year. There is a collective consciousness that has as well, whether you know people who have been going through it or not. We've even been able to see that in the news, especially those of us who are living in the US of A. You know the stronghold that they have on the government system right now. You know of the economic hardships that has taken place, the mass layoffs, etc., etc. The list goes on. And it's like, man, when can we catch a break? It's like example after example after example, things just seem to be going wrong. But what goes down must also go up. So one of my favorite quotes that I've been following this year is, once you climb one mountain, you actually get to the bottom of the next mountain. We are taking spiritual steps to elevation, to the next best thing. And anytime we find ourselves in hardship, anytime we hit rock bottom, anytime we're facing challenges and obstacles, it's actually an indication that we're about to experience something greater, that we're being called to the next valuable lesson, the next valuable experience for ourselves in order to grow. And we all know that growth isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary, especially if we want to experience more good, the greater good, higher value things, the things that we're deserving of, our desires, the things that we want the most, right? Like financial freedom. If you've had a hard time with money this year, it's because you're calling in financial freedom, financial vitality. You don't want to worry about money. You want to be prosperous, you want to be abundant and have more than enough for yourself and for others. Well, in order to do that, you might need to get your ducks in a row with your finances right now, even if that just means shifting your mindset. Mindset is everything in order to create a life that you deserve and a life that you want. And so, understanding that not only was this year of 9 up for hardship, but also it's calling you to look at what you've had to let go of this year. And if you haven't completely let go of it yet, you got to do that. And you want to do it now before we get into the new year, the year of 10. This is the chapter, and this is the beginning of rebirth. Okay. So that next chapter is about to be delicious. But first, we have to graduate from the number 9. Okay. And so with that, I hope that you've been enlightened. And if you have taken a gem away today, go ahead and drop it down in the comment box below. Hit the subscribe and the notification button, and I'll see you in the next piece of content. Peace.